Christmas. It's all about giving, isn't it? Which is lovely when you think about it. It's a really noble and lovely way to think about Christmas. But I think it's okay if we admit that sometimes it can be a bit draining or a bit frustrating. Even if you just think about all the little things that happen at Christmas that kind of add up. Now, maybe you're too polite to say this, so I'll just go ahead and say it for you. But, I don't always want to wear a Christmas jumper, for example. I don't really like Christmas jumpers. I look stupid in them. I don't want to wear the hats that come out of those silly crackers. I don't necessarily want to eat loads and loads of turkey. And I usually manage to overeat and then feel very bad about myself afterwards. Or even just going around to a relative's house and, the temperature being cranked up so you're just sitting there kind of sweating on their sofa. Now, none of these are particularly big things. But when you think about it, Christmas is often a time when, all very well intended, we sort of give away our choices, don't we? We just sort of go along with it. Because, we're not tossers, basically. But it's really important, I think, to remember that human beings thrive when they feel powerful and they own their choices. And actually, when we are in a situation where we have choices taken away from us, or we allow those choices to be taken away, that is a recipe for a very rapid downward spiral. And, we're coming out of a period where a lot of our choices have been taken away from us. And actually, there's this threat that this might be coming back. Nobody knows what's going to happen this Christmas. Are we going to have more restrictions put on us? Are we going to have more choices taken away from us? So actually, although it seems innocuous, those little choices that you give away, they do add up. So I think Christmas is a brilliant opportunity to think about how we can reclaim some of that power, some of the little choices, because we can't always decide what happens to us, but we can decide what we do next, what we do about it. So how do we do that? How do we claim back our choices without becoming total Scrooges? Well, I think the answer is wine. Fullness. Winefulness. So lots of things might be out of your control. We can't deny that, and there's no point in trying to hide behind that. But nobody ever gets to decide where you focus your attention. I mean, they can try, of course, but you get to decide where you focus your energy and your attention. And you can practice that by having a glass of wine. Let's try it. It is past midday, just for anyone who's concerned. But, rather than being kind of mindless while you're having that glass of wine and thinking about, what's mounting up in your inbox or the strategy meeting that you've got in January, just give yourself permission to let it go and just focus on what you can see. Focus on the colour, the way it moves in the glass, the way the light reflects off it. And then you can focus on what you smell and really just enjoy the experience of smelling it. What does your nose do in response? What does your mouth do in response? Does your mouth water? And again, if your thoughts start wandering off in a direction that you didn't choose, whether it's listening to the maddening Christmas music or looking at the mounting clutter in your house, doesn't matter, that's what brains do. But then you can choose to bring your attention back to your wine. And that's just one way that you can just reclaim a little bit of power and keep your sense of self and sense of humour during Christmas. Now, if wine is not your thing, then you can do this with food as well. Why not see how you can pay attention to Brussels sprouts? See if you can notice the different shapes, the different sizes, the different colours of every single Brussels sprout. If your Brussels sprout had a superhero alter ego, what would it be? Go ahead, have some fun while you eat those vegetables, you impressive human. I think I'm probably just going to focus on my wine. Anyway, I hope that's helpful. Christmas is a wonderful time, But I think it's okay to admit that sometimes it can be quite hard as well, particularly this time around when yet again we don't know what's coming. So we can still own our choices, even the little small ones, just about regaining that power and control over where we focus our attention and energy. I hope you have a great Christmas.